Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Braveheart Friday. My name is Nathan Myers, and I have with us today our CEO, Mr. Randy Long, and we're going to talk a little bit further about what role your company plays in your retirement goals, and how much you really need to get out of your company. So, last week we talked about how much your net worth is made up in your company, usually about 70-90%, and how the transaction of moving your company will probably fund your retirement and your retirement goals. So I think it would be interesting today to start on the other side of that coin, talk about what really happens if you haven't done any planning and you're just ready to retire now. So what do you say about that?
Yeah. So the simple answer is, for a lot of business owners, it means they're going to work a lot longer than they expected to work. We've had a few of our clients coming to us too late that had to work into their 80s to try to make things work out. So that's a problem. Secondly, one of the things that we had in a situation just like that actually is that the parent or the owner decided that they wanted to transition to the kid, but the owner worked so long that by the time he was ready to get out, the kid was only 2 years away from retirement.
Oh, wow.
And so they refused to take the company, which was really tough on the guy. And then another story that I just wanted to share real quick has to do with an owner that expected to sell the company to an insider, to an employee, a key employee, and who'd worked with him for many years. And it was a great relationship and everything, but the owner didn't bring the employee into the plans until the very end of when he was ready to get out. And so when he was ready to get out, the employee informed him that he had no desire to buy the company. And in fact, in the next year or two, he was leaving the country for his own retirement. So a couple of instances there where a failure to look down the road and start this planning process within a reasonable time frame is going to potentially cost you money and extend your working years. And then one other thing that I want to say too about this has to do with timing, and that is the market. Because there is M&A or mergers and acquisitions cycle that tends to run. It's the business cycle essentially, and when things are, running smooth and powerful, the money surges into the private equity markets, and you can sell companies for higher multiples than when the country is in recession. Mm-hmm. So it's a big deal for you to understand that it's nice to plan to sell in the second half of an expansion instead of during recession or too early in the expansion, because you will get a lot more money if you time it well, in addition to having a company that is saleable and well run.
Right. That idea of selling at the top of the market rather than the very bottom.
That's correct.
So let's go back to the employee for just a moment. Even if you have had that discussion with your employee and you know that they're interested in taking over the company, I'd have to imagine there's some kind of learning curve there, just learning how to take over the company and how to run the business as an owner. So how should they plan for that kind of movement?
Yeah. In order to do this really well and to protect the owner so that the owner is not ever really at risk in the transition, we like to have 5 to 7 years, sometimes as much as 10, to pull off an employee transition or an employee purchase, because employees typically come with no money.
Right.
Sometimes it can be done a little quicker than that, but it depends on the circumstances. One of the circumstances has to do with at what point will a bank finance the balance that is owed. So that's one of the things that'll change over time depending on the economy and such.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this today, talking more about how your business and what your role that plays in your retirement. Please feel free to like our page and share this video. If you have any other topics you'd like to see us discuss, feel free to comment them below and we'll try to get to them. Thank you so much.